I'm Angela Hessam, 6th grade Avid at Farb Middle School, San Diego, California. The kind of Socratic seminar we will be doing today is a triad formation, discussing Sandra Cisneros' short story, Salvador Late or Early. The benefits of doing a Socratic seminar triad style is that it brings in the non-speakers, so they have a voice in the discussion. It fosters student confidence. It encourages their critical thinking skills, and it builds community within the classroom. What I look for in a good Socratic seminar text is one that is thought-provoking, that there is no right or wrong answer, so they can go deeper into the text and find different meanings. The kind of text I would need could be audio, it could be video, it could be art, doesn't have to be print. The way the students interacted with the text before today's Socratic seminar was they read it independently for the first time, and they wrote their questions and reactions in the margins. Students extend beyond the text by coming up with higher level questions, and I tell them they need to have a question that can cause a discussion. It can't be yes or no. How I arrange the chairs for the triad discussion is an inner circle and an outer circle, and for every chair in the inner circle, there are 2 chairs behind it in the outer circle. I determine who sits in the inner circle by first asking for volunteers, and then if there aren't enough students who volunteer, then I assign them to fill those seats. The role of each member of the triad is that in the inner circle, it's a pilot who participates in the discussion. The outer circle are the co-pilots who listen and take notes. Who can tell me what guidelines we are going to be focusing on today?
Building on other people's ideas.
Referring to the text. To discuss ideas in the text, not people's opinions.
My students are very experienced with Socratic seminars, so we're transitioning from a teacher-led discussion to a student-led discussion. Who can remind us what the leader's job is for our discussion? Christopher.
The leader's job is to start the conversation by picking a pilot's question and continue the discussion.
The leader encourages us to openly share our ideas.
To begin the discussion, the leader does a whip around and all the students in the inner circle say their question, and the leader chooses which one to start off the discussion with. I used to provide it for them, and I have some on standby just in case, but they're the ones that bring their questions.
All right. Could everyone on the inner circle share their questions?
What does the author mean by Salvador with eyes the color of caterpillars?
How does the author relate to Salvador?
Did the author go through what Salvador is going through?
Because everyone shared their questions, I think the best overall question would probably be Rosa's. Can you repeat your question, please?
What big change can the color of the rainbow represent Salvador's future and make him into a beautiful butterfly?
Okay, now everybody knows the question, so take a minute and discuss in your triad the question that Rosa gave us, and prepare yourself for the discussion.
The rainbow represents him from when there's light colors, and then when it gets darker, that's how he feels.
I think that's what she means with that question. So he blossomed early.
So he had to grow up fast to take care of his siblings.
Okay, let's bring it back together. And Sierra, please repeat the question so we can begin our discussion.
What big change can the rainbow represent in Salvador's future and make him from a caterpillar to a butterfly?
Once the opening question has been selected, the students talk about their ideas, they build upon each other's ideas, and they reference the text to support those ideas.
In stanza 2, when it's listing all the colors, red, green, yellow, blue, and a nub of black sticks that tumble and spill. And I think the black stick can change his future drastically.
James, he said how the black sticks tumble and spill. Maybe that's like the dark times of his life, which is presently, and how it's like slowly depleting and it's slowly changing. And it might go to brightness and happiness of like reds and greens and yellows and blues instead of darkness and sadness.
Maybe he feels as if he was the small black crayon because all the other crayons are strong and tall, and he feels as if he's small.
The co-pilots in the outer circle are taking notes on the pilot's discussion so they can help their pilot during the discussion, and at times they can pass a note up to their pilot to assist in that discussion.
It also shows the chances of a bright future, probably a higher chance of a bright future.
The opening question is a starting point to get them talking, and then as the discussion continues, more questions arise and they explore other ideas.
I had a question related to the black nub of the black crayon. If that probably doesn't represent the only pain that he gets from having to have so much responsibility.
Like he's hurting inside.
Yeah, but for what?
Okay, we're going to take a break, and I want the pilots to choose one of your co-pilots as the new pilot. The new question you guys are going to be talking about is one sentence is more than 80 words long and another is more than 100 words long. Why would the author choose to write this way?
She doesn't want to end that one meaning until she has everything she wanted to say.
And it's how hard his life has been and how he just keeps on going on and on.
Okay, let's bring it back together again. Once the triad discussions are over, the inner circle conversation continues as normal. Okay, now since we switched pilots and co-pilots, I'm going to make Jasmine our leader. Okay, go ahead and repeat the question.
So how come Sandra Cisneros uses commas instead of punctuation?
I think that she probably uses so many commas because she doesn't want to end one topic before she says all she has to say.
She wants to finish getting the message through to us before she can start her new topic.
The teacher's role during the discussion is to intervene if needed, but my ultimate goal is to step back and be an observer and let the kids have the discussion. It's time to wrap this up, so I'm going to give you a moment for each of you in the inner circle to give us your final statement regarding the discussion.
Not just the color is representing Salvador's life, but also the author, like how the author writes the text.
My final statement is that kids should be kids. They should be making their own mistakes and not trying to correct their parents' mistakes.
My final statement is that his whole life is a circuit and he doesn't have any room to do anything on his free time.
My students debrief in their triad, discussing the process and how things went. Then I share out my notes of what I observed during the discussion. And then they have a final question for me, and they continue with their debrief in writing. What was the process like? What could be done better?
I think maybe next time we ask more questions.
Get more information.
Most of the time it was just based on our opinions.
And they might have taken it more deeper.
Yeah, with more textual evidence and statements.
I wanted to share with you guys a couple of my notes that I noticed during the discussion. I really like how you guys reference each other. If somebody says something and another person talks, you always bring that person into the discussion. I like that. Giovanni, I liked the paint a picture idea. That was beautiful, about the way she writes that way to give us the image of Salvador and how busy he is. A rewarding Socratic seminar is a dialogue, not a debate. In this discussion, they may not come to a same understanding of the text. They may have different understandings. They may have more questions that have arisen from this discussion of the Socratic seminar, and I let them know that that's okay. That's what this process is about.